So I'm here now with Dan. This is me and Dan, and we're going to have a walkabout at the tables just to find out what's going on, because this is the penultimate game. A lot hangs in this balance, doesn't it?
It does. This is where it starts to get rule books out. Rule books, people get a little bit tense, so yeah.
Absolutely. So we've started at table 1. What armies have we got going against each other, and what do you think is going to happen?
We've actually got the Orc and Goblins on the Chaos Warriors. Now, a lot of people on the interwebs and on podcasts and things think that the Orc and Goblins have got a good way to handle the Warriors, and in this tournament the Orc and Goblins seem to be doing okay so far. But there's a lot of Warrior players appearing on the top tables in the last few rounds, as is kind of expected, being a new book, and the comp was very light on them. So I'm interested to see how it
Was
goes.
that purposeful, by the way?
Yeah, we never like to comp things until we actually know if they're any good, because sometimes you get a problem where it's just new book syndrome, people don't know how to deal with them, and in this case I've seen multiple games today where people just didn't know what to do rather than it being particularly broken, so we'll find out. But in theory, with the way Andy's army works, he should, I don't know, I think he should be okay.
You think he's going to win the matchup against the current UK master, Tom Morsley?
I don't know, if I had to guess I'd say 12-8 Andy.
All right, okay. That's cool. So what do you think to how they've deployed at the moment? Is it safe?
It's interesting, really. I think that Tom might play it safe and just try and pick up. You can see he's deploying what looks like his Demon Prince in a possible range of a few different things. And Andy's got some points strung out here that he can get behind, including a couple of rock lobbers, which would be quite scary to him. So, I don't know. We'll find out.
That's cool. Moving down, we have an ETC ref from last year, Guido, playing Kevin Weaver. What do we think to this matchup?
I think this one's an interesting one. You've got Throg and his trolls, so a special character involved, and then you've got a more standard Warriors list that we're seeing a lot around the scene, around this tournament, I should say. I don't know how it's going to go. Guido's been playing very, very well this weekend, and in a couple of occasions he looks like he was down and then he pulls it all back. So he's a good player, and obviously somebody that we don't. Being German, he hasn't been on the scene. People don't know how he plays or what to expect from him. So it should be interesting. If I was going to guess, I'd back him.
Yeah.
Although Throg in this matchup could throw some different variables in, but he has got quite a lot of manoeuvrability to avoid him. So we'll find out.
Awesome. Now I can see a couple of Terrorgeists here. Do you think a double Terrorgeist list is the way to go for Vamps?
Again, it's on the meta game, isn't it? There's a lot of them. There's quite a few of them in this tournament. They're potentially very nasty, and they're definitely keeping check on the Warriors up on these top tables at the moment.
Yeah.
Brian Carmichael had it in the last game. He played 2 Terrorgeists. He's now playing 2 Terrorgeists again, and the Warriors player doesn't necessarily lose, but they don't. It's very hard for them to win if it's played right. And Darren's been doing really well. I mean, he's an old school player. And he's got the big deep unit with the vampire fighty lord in the front rank. It's quite hard matchups for the warrior player sometimes. Where to commit, because he could effectively lose most of his army, and he's still got millions of points in there. So, and there's only so much the warrior player can feed the vampire player. So yeah, be interesting.
How many warrior players have you seen at the top tables this weekend?
Not many until this round. This round we're going to walk down, and we've seen warrior 1, 2, 3. We're going to walk now. We've got warrior on 4. I think there was one on each table. Yeah. Whether they're there at the end, I don't know.
Okay.
We'll find out.
So do we think warriors are vampires for this one?
If I was going to guess, I'd fancy the vampires. If I was playing the vampires, I'd fancy it. He's shaking his head. But yeah, yeah. Darren's up for it.
Fair enough. So we're moving over here to the Cthulhu-esque models.
Yes.
Which I think are pretty decent. An American there.
Might be a bit of an understatement, but yeah.
American playing a Brit.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
I don't know, it's a tough one to call this. There's 2 brand new books. I've watched Joe play over the weekend, and he's played it very well.
Raj.
Sorry. No, Joe.
Raj.
Joe.
Okay.
Anyway, we could argue about that. But he's been playing well over the weekend, and fairly in a way defensively, which I've watched the new Demons playing on a couple of top tables, and they've all played fairly steady Eddie, taking their time, not bailed it all forward like Demons were prone to doing before. So maybe this is the way of playing it now.
People are doing that because they don't know the book as well, do you think?
I think the pure combat power has been ripped out of it, and it's more about how you use it as a sort of almost a combined arms force now. Lots of small units, trying to pick your combats, using the cannons that you've got. You can see on the table, Joe's got 2 really good cannons. Really well converted cannons, but they're what's being called the skill cannon. There's 2 of those.
Cannon.
The Reign of Chaos, the way it's working in this tournament until an FAQ comes out, means that it can affect, on a decent roll of the Winds of Magic, it can affect every unit in the opponent's army. So just by holding back and playing it a bit cautious, using your magic, using your guns, you can appear to be able to get good results.
How important do you think deployment is for these two armies?
The Warriors less so to a degree because a lot of it is individual models, so you've got quite a lot of movement potential to move sideways and fly around or spread out your list. I think the Demons is much more important, because, but again, you look at this list, the two cannons on the flanks are pretty good. It's hard to advance into it, and I've seen it played where Joe's been playing it with either clustered up as he's got here, or with the units spread out into the corner, just creating zones where they can't run forward really.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. Let's have a whiz down here. So we've got a Marcus Lake here.
Yeah, doing well.
Now, look at that. That is very, very straight lining up.
He fancies it, I'd say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you think's going on here then? Not much at the moment, eh? You're just chilling. That is Marcus to a T, really.
That's how he rolls.
Yeah.
I'd say Ben probably fancies it with the setup. He's gone. We've just talked about defensive Demons. That's as undefensive as I've seen him all weekend. So,
oh, really?
I'd probably think he fancies running forward on that.
He's been on this table a few times this weekend, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He seems to be hovering
he
here.
He likes that table, yeah. He's played on it, yeah. Mind you, this used to be the old table one, so maybe it's got,
the ghost of Johnson remains.
Yeah.
No, awesome. What do we think of the matchup? Who's going to be the victor?
I would probably put my house, child and dog on Ben, with the way he's deployed. If I was going to be honest. Yeah, that's no disrespect to Marcus, but
no, fair enough. Or your child?
Maybe not my child. Yeah, my missus might have an issue.
Absolutely. As long as this doesn't go to YouTube.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So it'll be fine.
He's got 3 what assassins?
Rendon Star Assassins.
What do they do?
But they do a lot of damage to high toughness single models and monstrous cavalry, things like that. But they can only be in one place at one time. So.
Okay. I'd be quite daunted by this lineup. Cool.
Yeah.
So we've got Dan Thomas, who seemed to be doing quite well again with his Empire. Do you think he's going to carry on in top 10 finishing?
He's got quite a hard game. This gent he's playing, I think, is part of the Norwegian ETC team. Is doing solid. Dark Elves are one that we see in a decline of in the UK, apart from Ben Curry playing them. You just don't see them anymore, but they're still a really good list. I think that generally they do okay against the Empire with a kind of setup, and there's blocks here. They want to fight combat. The Empire player needs to fight combat a lot of the time to get points. So it might be quite good.
It's got a little bit of shooting. These 2 cannons. Hopefully they're not going to blow up. And as we can see, look at that. On the side.
Game face on.
Gamey. I like it.
That's all I've got.
That's all I've got. Gaming tactics.
I'm up against mine laser.
Yeah.
Sounds good. What would you stake your bet on here then?
Tight one. The Empire player can play it fairly tight if he wants to, and see how it goes. Depends if he gets a couple of early cannon shots and manages to take off the Hydra, the Cauldron. He can get up quite quickly and not have to commit. So I would look at maybe a tight game there, 11-9, 12-8 one way.
Okay. Yeah, I think a draw too. I'd run it all forward there, but that's probably why I'd die.
Yeah.
So we've got a Brazilian and a Swede here going together.
Yeah, Lizard Man, typical deployment, I would say.
Is this typical for a Lizard Man, really? Just plonk it all in the corner?
Well, it'll fan out as the army comes forward, probably.
Right,
but,
okay.
all your points at the backboard edge is not unheard of. I certainly used it.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. And then as the other army advances, you'll probably pile up the sides or one way to try and get some shooting off. But again, Dark Elves can be a tough match for Lizards. I always found them hard work. The Hydras look on paper that you should be able to deal with them, but they've got effectively 4 re-rollable saves. It doesn't take much at all to bounce and go through your army. So, and plus, I presume looking at that, there's some sort of peg rider or similar that's running around.
This one over here?
Yeah, they're always horrid. No Lizardman player likes single unkillable characters. So,
are these 2 Hydras the things with heads?
Yes.
Are they quite tough?
Yeah. In 8th edition, Dark Elf players will tell you that they're overrated, but they're not. They're still really good.
Awesome. Okay, moving down then. We've got Matt Baker Boy, who's been on the top tables, I think, all the weekend.
Yeah,
which
he's
is
doing all right, yeah.
Absolutely. We've got a Vampire army again. I feel quite good that I've now switched to Vampires because they seem to be doing quite well.
A strong book. A lot of the guys in the UK have taken time to cotton onto him, but I mean, Matt's been a long-term player of the Vamps, so and he seems to have switched up to a bus style list previously.
First time I've used the bus.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, every time I see Matt, he's been on Crypt Horrors and things. But I think, again, it'd be interesting if you chat to him later, but I'd imagine it's a change in the meta game. A lot more monstrous cavalry coming out in armour.
Absolutely.
And the Vampire Crypt Horror thing doesn't really deal with it. So.
Well, I'm not very competitive yet with my army, but I've obviously got my 2 Terrorgeist and I've got Mortis Engine, and I've got nothing on horses at all. And I've just seen a lot of Vampire stuff on horses, and not necessarily always the Mortis Engine. So I don't know if I've got a very competitive list. So maybe I should be looking to what Matt's doing to get a little bit more oomph to my army.
It depends. I mean, this list can be very one-dimensional and forgiving in a way, and it will get you solid results. So it depends what you want from it. If you want more fun, probably the list with the different units, the Mortis Engine and stuff.
Yeah.
Depends what you like.
I like fun because I like it when the Mortis Engine blows up and kills them lot. That's good.
Yeah.
So who's going to win out of this match?
I would say, I mean, it doesn't appear to be a bell in the Skaven list. It really depends how much that Vampire bus can kill quickly to get through. If you can get through in some sort of unit strength with it, it'll probably do all right.
Both armies have deployed quite tight together. I haven't. Is that okay? I haven't really seen that. I usually used to spread out the whole board.
It's very, very rare to see anybody who's got a clue with Skaven deploying it anything other than all in a bubble around the wherever the Gracie is located.
Of course.
The Vampire play, it depends how they want to play. Some of them will leave. You might see as Matt moves forward, he'll leave the zombies in the back because they're not going to really fight much, so he might leave them there. I might have been tempted to deploy them in the line though, to be honest, because against Skaven they still do alright. Might be useful to try and break Steadfast somewhere or get rid of some of the swarms, something like that. But,
Absolutely.
It depends. I've also seen him play a couple of times today where he's left them in corners and just left them out of the way as deployments. So
that's
it
cool.
Depends what you want to do with them.
It's been an interesting weekend so far. We've obviously got this game and then we've got one final game as well. How has it gone for you again?
Yeah, it seems to go okay. I think we've had a little bit of an issue with the food yesterday. I don't think it was particularly great. Much better today.
Much better today, yeah.
I think, but we can tweak that. We spoke to the canteen people yesterday about doing that. I think it was a little bit kind of the samey on Friday night and then on the Saturday when people chose to go to the Red Lion or one of the local places, the curry houses, to go and have their food. But apart from that, yeah, it's been fine. The Saturday night was the only real disappointment for me. After having 125 people on the Friday night for pickup games, having sort of 30 or 40 last night was a bit of a drop.
I stole them away. They just wanted to spend time with me getting chucked out, you see. So.
Goes without saying. But,
absolutely.
But apart from that, yeah, it seems to have run all right. The players seem to be happy. I think it's the best year we've had from the players in terms of getting things done on time. No real issues. We had one that you've probably spoke to with Russ about. But generally, it's been really smooth running. And hopefully this round, if they get the results in quick, this is the one where that has the most effect on whether people get home on time. So
good point. Any clear winners so far?
No, I think this is the tightest it's been. I've sat here before and seen Ben Johnson pretty much had it in the bag in previous years. He's certainly not. He's right in the mix. If I was going to bank on anybody now, if Tom Maudsley can beat Andy Avery on table 1, I think if he gets a big win, it'll be too hard to catch. I think he'll win. Yeah. But,
current UK master and all?
Yeah. He's having a good time. And this type of tournament, with the field you get with a lot of tournament regulars, but also a massive proportion of new people, it is very possible to get ahead early and not get caught by someone you would deem at your skill level. So, and he's had he did play Brian Carmichael earlier in the Warrior off and beat him, so he has played some good players. But I think it'd be too hard to catch if he gets up there.
Cool. Well, don't forget to check it out on the Bad Dice Facebook page. You can still get dice, by the way. I got told off by Ben. You can still buy dice. Follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, and also follow Dan at Healing Hammer.
Yeah, you got it.
There you go. All the news for South Coast GT 2013. See ya.
Cheers.